Welcome to OWAD Today. I'm Sophia Pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue explore ocean/industrial age concepts. And today's concept is 卫生. As you can see, it means hygiene. And born into this language, I never thought about what is 卫生, why it makes sense to be the English hygiene equivalent Chinese. Okay. You can see simplified and traditional, and 2000 years ago, things get more and more simplified over time, but we're losing the original stories or details or higher definition of things. So 2000 years ago, it's normally how I unpack, go back to the source. And wait, when we look at what is defined, it looks very complicated, right? The left and right on both sides, those are the walking footsteps, human footsteps, exactly 3 footsteps each side. So it's because when we walk, we have to walk by 2 feet, right? Move one and then the other. And these are total 6 steps and 3 on each side. That's what this imagery is about. It's kind of a more fluid and then what otherwise disconnected human footsteps will look like. That's how Chinese simplify what footsteps looks like. And footsteps simply representing walking through space. And it's a human walking because it's human footsteps. Now, the middle part, you can see something interesting there. The top, above this oval shape, the top over there is the right foot facing toward the left because Chinese is a left-facing or left-oriented culture. Took me a while to realize this. English is a right-oriented. When we think of forward thinking, when we look at the charts of the growth of whatever economic metric, it's always like toward the right side. That's the developmental timeline. It's always toward the right versus Chinese is toward the left. And this left-facing footwear, ancient footwear, actually, okay, the heel is connected, but the front, you see 2 decks. So the top deck is interfacing with the foot, bottom, your sole. The bottom is interfacing with the road, whatever the road conditions back then. We need a cushion between our otherwise bare foot with the ground, right? So that's the shoe shape simplified in Chinese. And by default, if it's walking forward, it's going to be facing the left. But we see below this oval shape, the exact same footwear shape facing toward the right. So that means it's a 2-direction traffic in there. And then the bottom is, well, it's not perfectly fitting the theory, but I guess due to the the space constraint, we have a lot stacking up on this string, right? This vertical line, and it doesn't have much space in there. So originally the tree symbol got simplified, that we have the canopy of the tree. Normally it looks like this. It's upward, sun facing upward, growing, gravity defying shape. That's a convex shape facing up. But here it got simplified into one horizontal line. Probably doesn't have space to do this kind of a cup thing. And then the bottom is the root of the tree. So when we have tree as part of a Chinese character, normally that means made of wood. It talks about the material. So it's something made of wood in there and something related to walking. And you have bi-directional traffic going there. And then this oval shape in the middle, what that could be, according to scholars here, you can regard it almost like ancient traffic control, that there was such a I guess, a station, such a station that's put in between the two sides of the traffic to maintain the order. Because imagine if this is a public road and quite a busy road, and if people are walking whatever direction, it's going to be chaotic. It's going to slow everybody down. Therefore, there is such a traffic control thing, just like the traffic of these days for cars, right? Either you're left or on the right side. That's the protocol reviewing of yesterday's character expression that's set for that particular region. So there is such a forward-facing direction, and the two directional traffic need to be separated. And this oval shape probably is such a station made of wood, and somebody need to man that booth to make sure people in two directions are going in their own lane. They are not counter the traffic direction. And eventually, this whole, ancient traffic control, complicated picture became the concept of defend, because it's almost like you establish a rule and order. You try to maintain that order. Okay, so this rule setting by itself is not enough. It has to be rule maintaining. So that becomes the concept of defend. You keep defending this rule of traffic. Eventually, it becomes defending anything. Anything you believe or any principles you lay out, any rules you set, you want the whole society to follow. Now, the right side, life. This sheng we talk about so many times because I guess Chinese is a culture that be acutely aware of living and death and life especially. We use a plant life to symbolize for all forms of life. The plant is this upward facing thing growing under in the ground. So you can see it's still rooted. The first horizontal line is a ground level. And underneath, the second horizontal line is pointing out that it's still rooted in the ground, because I recently, not that long ago, learned about the most ancient tree in the world. It's Bristol cone tree that's nearly 5,000 years old. The way they die is when it's uprooted, when the root is detached from the soil. And it may be hard for humans to imagine why that could ever happen. But if this tree existed for thousands of years, just the environment, erosion from the air, from the water, from the wind, is going to do something to that root in the soil. Eventually, the root is going to be exposed, and then the tree is destabilized and cannot get nutrition from the ground anymore and topple. That's the end of this most longevity tree. And we can see why Chinese here kind of point out the second indicator, the second horizontal line serving as the indicator to highlight that this is a plant that's still rooted, meaning it's still alive. And we use plant life to apply to all kinds of life. So Wei Sheng, this hygiene actually is made of concept of defend life. And I feel, I never thought about, never think Wei Sheng in separate terms. Think about what is Wei, what is Sheng, why Wei Sheng paired together means hygiene. And when I do look at it with fresh eyes like this now, after unpacking everything, I realize what a poetic way to express what is hygiene. In English, it's just hygiene. We regard it as, good practice in life. So you maintain your hygiene so you don't get compromise your immune system, things like that, right? But Chinese defend life. It's almost like a preventative care in today's lingo. Is we have this one life, you have to defend it in however way you can, and all that is highly aligned with what hygiene is about. It's an act of defending life. And here's a, I guess, classical sanitizing process that in an effort to maintain good hygiene to defend life. 卫生. Thank you for your time. See you another day.